Okay, so this should be live now. Give me 2 seconds. I've got to grab something to drink, and the mailman just showed up, so I'm going to go grab the mail in case any of them porch pirates decide to steal my Amazon. All right, so got the mail. Um, got a drink, and I'm coughing all over the place, um, which is normal at this point. So this is something that I have been messing with. I originally made it for the phone, for my so I could roll cards on the go. Um, but I decided to screw around with it, turn it into a little desktop thing, and this is what we got going on now. Um, I know that a couple of people are playing around with it. I sent it to Grant because he's got a Mac, and I want this to run on the Mac. So I sent my Mac build to Grant to test. I've got a couple of people playing around with the Windows version. Um, and one of the comments that one of them had was the chart editor was a little, they hadn't messed with it, and they're like, well, as soon as I figure it out. And I was like, well, I'll do a little video. So I'm going to start with that. We're just going to add a simple chart. I'm going to kind of walk through it. Um, and then we'll get to some matches. So this is the chart editor. It's pretty simple. You got your chart name. Let's grab a chart from somewhere that we're going to add, and I'll go through the options. Uh, let's see here. We'll add this. Go here. We're going to add the default Battle Royal chart from the ringside companion. So we'll enter the text. We got Battle Royal. Number of dice. It is two dice because it has 12 results. Primary stat is none. Secondary stat is none. These are things like your ropes, your choices, your ring. So you could create, alternate charts for your choices and your rings and ropes and all of those as well. But for this one, it's just none. Chart info. This is extra info. Like if your chart has a bunch of text on it, you can enter it there. I'm going to leave it blank for now. There are no existing chart options. We're going to add new chart options. So 2, because you can't roll a 1. Rank is non-applicable because the rank relates to the primary stat, and we don't need it, or the choices. So we're good here. And then we just enter the text. I tend to condense these for the sake of not boring you. I'm just going to do the same. I'm going to condense them. You roll on level 2 offense. Add. And it will automatically increment the roll. So, and it will keep the text in case you have multiple situations where, it's a 2 through 4. You can just hit add again. But this one we do not. So you roll on level 2 offense. Apparently we could have just hit that. it's like that for the first 4 rolls. So now we're on level 5. The third wrestler attacks you and rolls on level 2 offense. That is 5 and 6. 7 through 9. The third or second wrestler rolls on level 2 offense. 7, 8, and 9. Then we've got 10 and 11. The third wrestler rolls on level 2 offense. 10 and 11. And then on 12, the wrestler on defense rolls on level 2 offense. And there you go. That's added. You got all your chart options here now. It's really simple. I'm not going to save this. I just wanted to show you how it was done, basically. But that's it. And that's kind of a rundown of all of the options for it. It's pretty simple to create charts and to roll on custom charts, which I know is a big thing that you can't do in the other online or in COTG online. So that's kind of a bummer. But you can with this one. Let's open up my Obsidian. We've got that going on. So we do have an article from my National Wrestling Commission, the Ring Sports News. If you were with us last card, former champion Ed Lewis was upset because current champion Farmer Burns revealed that he had turned down some suggested opponents, and he said he was never given that opportunity. So the Ring Sports News reached out to the National Wrestling Commission to respond to Lewis's comments. And it says, when former champion Ed Lewis got wind that current champion Farmer Burns was able to have some ability to choose his opponents, Lewis lashed out saying that he was not offered the same privileges and called Burns a coward. The National Wrestling Commission has responded to the comments by saying that Lewis was also given the same right to veto certain opponents, but Lewis was always too busy, quote, living it up, unquote, to take part in the discussion. According to our source in the NWC, Lewis would regularly just accept matches without even checking to see who the opponent was, if it would get him out of the meeting quicker. Ring Sports News reached out to Lewis about this, and he replied saying that that was a bold-faced lie. I've always got time for wrestling. I've always got time. I've always made time to talk to you folks. I've always made time to talk to the fans. I've always made time to promote my matches. What they're saying is just to save face, both for their own sake and the sake of their new yellow champion. It's hard to sell tickets to see a wrestler who isn't tough, so of course they're going to say he's not getting any special treatment. Burns didn't respond to our request for comments, but his upcoming opponent and teammate, Tom Jenkins, gave the following quick thoughts on the matter. I'm happy to have a shot. I'm 100% with Martin and the commission here. Why would they suddenly change the way they do business for Burns? He's coming to the end of his career, and it wouldn't make sense for them to do a complete overhaul on his account. Who's right? Who's lying? We're not sure, but it's clear that Ed Lewis, Farmer Burns, and the NWC have a lot of perception problems going on. And so that's the situation with the National Wrestling Commission, Ed Lewis and Farmer Burns. Burns will be defending his title in his first defense tonight against his mustachioed muscle teammate, Tom Jenkins. That's what originally upset Burns, is that he felt that, or upset Lewis, is that he felt that Burns had vetoed all of the challengers until he got to Jenkins, who is his friend and teammate, and would give him a soft match. So that's what's going on with the world title picture here in the National Wrestling Commission. And that is all of the news for this particular card. So let's go ahead and get to our first match. We want to go selected roster, change it to NWC. And the first match is going to be Orville Brown versus Little Wolf. This is more of a just kind of a rankings match to get matches under their shoulders. This is Little Wolf's debut here in the NWC. And he has got a pretty tough opponent in Orville Brown. And let's roll the dice for initiative. Little Wolf with a 9, and Orville Brown rolls a 6. So Little Wolf is... oh, God, that cough. Little Wolf is successful in the lockup, and he will start us off. And he starts us off with a big right hook. And that's going to connect and daze Orville Brown. And Little Wolf grabs Brown, backs him into the turnbuckle. I have not loaded the other turnbuckle charts, so we'll go with it for this match. And it looks like Little Wolf backs him into the buckle and pummels him a little bit and is on the attack, rolling on level 2 here. And Little Wolf with a leg sweep. This is an agility move, and Little Wolf definitely does not have the agility. So Orville Brown taking control with a wrist lock. A Little Wolf able to spin out of the wrist lock and take control himself with a native throw. This is a power move. They are tied for power, so that is going to work. And that native throw puts Orville Brown down, and he is hurt. Looks like Orville took a cab to the arena tonight. Maybe. And Orville Brown is hurt, and Little Wolf rolling on level 2 with a big tomahawk drop on Orville Brown. Brown is hurt by the tomahawk drop. And Little Wolf follows up with some chops to the chest. That's going to hurt Orville Brown. And another big tomahawk drop on Orville. And Orville takes it, and he's bashed, but he is still coming forward. And Little Wolf nails him with some chops to the chest. And my phone is going off. Let's silence that. Nobody needs to hear that. There we go. And Brown is hurt by those chops to the chest. And Little Wolf attempts a leg sweep. That is not going to work. And Orville Brown grabs the leg of Little Wolf and applies a knee bar. And Orville Brown take Little Wolf. Wow, he's down from the knee bar. And Orville Brown scoops him up. Big press body slam. This is a choice G maneuver. So we're either going to see a death jump or a level 3 move that's going to work on 8 or lower minus the opponent's power. As power is 2, so we're actually going to roll the death jump here. Normally, the death jump doesn't happen because I'm rolling on the other charts, and that's what we're going to do in the future. I'm going to load up the vintage charts, but for now, we're going to see the death jump. And Little Wolf gets nailed. Orville Brown comes off the second rope with a big punch right between the eyes on Little Wolf. And Orville Brown, he's going to toss him out of the ring. Brown's playing the good guy. He's not going to do that. He's going to roll up. And a big right hand by Orville Brown on Little Wolf. And Little Wolf is down. Little Wolf not going to roll out of the ring. He's only got a B ring rating. And maybe he should have, as Orville Brown applies the Indian Deathlock. And this is a pinning situation. It's a level 1 finisher, so 3 is going to be the target. And, oh, I rolled Orville Brown's pin. Excuse me. 4 is going to be the target. And Little Wolf rolls a 7, so he's got a fatigue there. And crossface arm lock by Orville Brown. As Little Wolf escapes the Indian Deathlock. And he's rolling his pin again. He can't get back to the ropes. And target is 4. Roll is a 6. And Orville Brown continues his assault. Locks him in an octopus stretch. And that's going to hurt Little Wolf. And Orville Brown backs him into the buckle. And Little Wolf able to roll him up surprisingly, and now Orville Brown rolling his pin. We've got a pin rating of 2 and a roll of 7. So Orville Brown is able to kick out. And now Little Wolf tries another roll up. And Orville Brown is smart to the game there and is not able, or Little Wolf is not able to get the pin. Big right hand from Orville Brown. And that's going to take Little Wolf down. He's going to roll out of the ring. And Little Wolf given the space to get back in the ring, and as soon as he does, Orville Brown is all over him. Brown not going to throw him out of the ring, but is going to take him down and mount him with an armbar, and that's going to hurt Little Wolf. And Brown still has that mounted armbar on, and Little Wolf is still hurt. Brown lets him up and keeps control of the wrist, though, and that's going to hurt Little Wolf as Orville Brown applying pressure to the wrist of Little Wolf. And Big Chief Little Wolf nailed with a big right hand, and that's going to hurt him. And Brown going to take him back down and lock on the armbar again. And this is going to lead to a submission from Big Chief Little Wolf. The target is 5. The roll is a 6, so he is not pinned as Little Wolf kicks out again. And Orville Brown on the attack, and Brown nails the pile driver. This could be it. The target is going to be 8, and the roll is a 7. So just like that, Orville Brown has defeated Little Wolf. And let's go back to Obsidian. And that's going to be another fatigue for Little Wolf. So Brown has 1. Little Wolf has 4. So here we go. We got Brown defeated Little Wolf via pile driver. Fatigue info. Brown 1. Little Wolf 4. So 2.5 star match. Not too shabby to start us off there. And end the match. And no, I'm using Obsidian to record the matches, so we don't need to record them in the program. But the application does have the ability to save match results and all of that kind of stuff. So if I wasn't using Obsidian, I'd be using this. And our next match is going to be Bert Assirati versus Rudy Dusek with the Dusek Riot Squad. So let's go ahead and set this up. We've got the NWC selected. And we'll go with Bert. There is Bert Assirati. And here we go. We've got Rudy Dusek. Rudy Dusek. Where is he at? There he is. And he's going to come down with... we're going to send him down there with Wally Dusek and Joe Dusek. And we're going to start match. And I'm going to go over to Wally, and I'm going to check manager, and Joe Dusek and check manager. You can actually do this ahead of time, but I forgot to check the box. So there we go. They are set up as managers, which means that they get their distractor rating, which is 5, I believe. And of course, the Duseks in Sam's thing have the Dusek Riot Squad attack chart. So let's go ahead and load that up. Or Riot Squad attack. There we go. So we are going to roll for the initiative. Bert Assirati with an 8. It's going to be hard for Dusek to beat, and he does not beat it. So Bert Assirati gets one over on Rudy Dusek in the lockup. And Assirati attempts a headlock takeover. This is an agility move, and Dusek has the agility. So we're going to go with a drop kick from Rudy Dusek. And that is going to daze Bert Assirati. Doesn't catch him solidly, but still catches him. And Dusek follows it up with a grinding headlock on Bert Assirati, but Assirati is able to pop his head out and deliver some clubbing blows on Rudy Dusek. Assirati is a dangerous man, and Dusek is hurt. And I forgot to load the charts again, so we're going with the regular charts one more time. Bert Assirati into the ropes on Rudy Dusek. Dusek has an A ropes rating, so maybe we're going to roll up. And he locks a wrist lock on, and Dusek able to counter the wrist lock. And Dusek grabs Assirati with a grinding bear hug. This is a power maneuver, and that is not going to work on Bert Assirati, who is a noted, powerful guy. And so Assirati takes over with a big heel hook on Rudy Dusek, and that's going to hurt Dusek as he's able to get to the ropes. And as Dusek is getting up, Assirati grabs him up in a bear hug. And Dusek is hurt. And Assirati with a standing side headlock on Rudy Dusek. And Dusek, that's a level 2 move. Dusek is down. That standing side headlock took him down. And now Bert Assirati not going to throw Rudy Dusek out of the ring. That is a bad choice. So he's going to roll up with the standing side headlock on Rudy Dusek. And Dusek able to counter it. He pops his head out. And he's going to send Assirati into the ropes. And opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So Rudy Dusek just blasts Bert Assirati with a big elbow shot as he comes off the rope. Puts Assirati down. And Rudy Dusek locks on the Dusek double headlock. And this is a +2 finisher. Assirati is a 4-1. So the target is going to be 3. And the roll is a 3. And just like that, Rudy Dusek has submitted Bert Assirati. That's going to be 1 fatigue for Assirati. And here we go. Let's record the results. We've got Dusek defeated Assirati via Dusek double headlock. And Dusek has 0 fatigue. Assirati has 1 fatigue. And that would be a half a star match. So I'm actually going to give this 1 star. I don't like giving just like a straight up half a star. So we'll go with a 1 star matchup. It wasn't quite a dud. So I don't want to give it that. And we'll end the match. And no, we're not going to record it. We already recorded it in Obsidian. Main menu. Default charts. Vintage into the ropes. Vintage into the turnbuckle. Vintage out of the ring. Default death jump since we don't really use it. And vintage choice situations. There we go. Finally, I've remembered to change the charts. And our next matchup is going to be Turkish Gold against the Zbyszko brothers. And Turkish Gold is, of course, Yusuf Ismail, the Terrible Turk. And Norula. And the Zbyszko brothers is, of course, Stanislaus. And Vladek Zbyszko. And we're going to start that matchup. I'm going to roll 1 die to see who starts out. 6, so that's going to be Norula. And a 3, so that will be Stanislaus. And we'll clear that log. And now we're going to roll to see who gets the initiative. And Norula with a 9. And Stanislaus rolls a 10. Wow. I thought the 9 was going to take it. So Stanislaus off the lockup with a hammerlock on Norula, and Norula is dazed as Stanislaus goes with a standing armbar. And Norula is hurt. And he transitions from the standing armbar into a half Nelson. And Norula counters the half Nelson and nails a single leg throw if he's got the agility, and he does not. So the single leg throw is thwarted by Stanislaus Zbyszko, who once again applies a half Nelson. And that one is going to actually He's going to lock that one in, and that's going to hurt Narula. And Narula is going to go back into the turnbuckle. And opponent rolls on level 2 offense. So Stanislaus Zbyszko on level 2 here after he pummels him in the turnbuckle. And he grabs the head scissors on Narula. And Narula is down. And Stanislaus, a big grinding forearm. This is a choice F maneuver. So it's going to be a level 2 move. Rolls of 6 plus or minus agility, which is 2. Or a level 3 move. Plus or minus power, which is 4. We don't want that. So it's going to be the level 2. This is going to be against the agility. So 8 or less. And with a roll of 5, that is successful. And Narula, able to counter the grinding forearm, though. And he takes over on level 2 offense. He's going to back Stanislaus into the buckle. And he just pummels Stanislaus. Knees to the gut, forearms to the face. Just really attacking Stanislaus Zbyszko. And Narula on the attack. He's going to sit on Stanislaus. And Stanislaus is down. Narula going to make the tag to the Terrible Turk, who's going to roll on level 3 offense. And the Terrible Turk with the body scissors on Narula. On Stanislaus. And Stanislaus rolling his pin. The Terrible Turk. He's got the body scissors applied. And the target is going to be 2. So he's just got to avoid Snake Eyes. And he does. And that's going to be a rope break. And now Ishmael throwing him out of the ring. Both wrestlers roll countout. If there is no countout, the wrestler with the better ring rating takes over on level 3 offense. So countout, and then it's going to be the Terrible Turk if countout doesn't happen. So he is not counted out. And he is not counted out. So the Terrible Turk on the attack here. A side salto on Stanislaus Zbyszko, and Zbyszko is down. As now Ishmael grabs him in the neck wrencher. This is an add 1 maneuver. So we're going to add 1, and oh, it's a pin. That neck wrencher really messed him up. Target is 5, roll is an 8, so it does not succeed. But man, Ishmael and Narula, the Terrible Turks, Turkish Gold, are taking the match pretty handily here. And rolling smother hold from Narula. This is a level 1 finisher, so the target's going to be 7. And the roll is a 12. Stanislaus needs a counter and a tag. But he's... And another rolling smother hold. That is not a counter and a tag. And so the target is going to be 8, and the roll is a 7. So Stanislaus Zbyszko is pinned with a rolling smother hold. As Narula, Nouroulah, that's kind of one of those names that's hard to... Defeated Stanislaus via rolling smother hold. And the fatigue info. He has 0. Ishmael has 0. Stanislaus has 5. And Vladek has 0. So we've got, let's see, 5, 2.5. So it's going to be about a 1.5 star matchup. We're going to go with the 1 star because Stanislaus never made it out of the ring. And that was a pretty brutal beating by the Terrible Turk and Narula. Stanislaus was lucky to get out of there without getting injured. And our next match, going to see 2 kind of brawly lightweights go at it. We've got Danny McShain. And McShain is going to be in there with Lightning Rod Fenton. And so McShain and Lightning Rod lock up. And it looks like Lightning Rod Fenton going to take it on the lockup. And Rod Fenton breaks the lockup and kicks him right in the gut. And McShain doubles over and goes down. And Rod Fenton quickly nails Danny McShain with a series of drop kicks as McShain gets up. This is going to be a level 1 finisher, so the target is going to be 4, and the roll is a 7. And Lightning Rod Fenton grabs a hammerlock. This is a choice D maneuver. And the hammerlock is either going to be a level 2 move on 8 or lower plus or minus agility. They're both 0, so it's going to be a level 3 move. And he's got to roll 8 or lower, and he succeeds. McShain in trouble now, down 3, as Lightning Rod Fenton pummeling him with his fists. And McShain able to turtle up and counter that, as McShain comes back with a powerful hammerlock of his own, and that's going to be successful, as McShain is the more powerful of the two wrestlers. And that's going to hurt Lightning Rod Fenton. And he's going to nail him with a kick to the gut of his own. This is going to be a choice C maneuver. Level 3 move on 6 or lower, plus or minus agility. This is going to be a level 2 move. That is going to work on 7 or less. And with a roll of 3, he's got him. And Lightning Rod Fenton avoids the kick to the midsection. And is on the attack now with a headlock. And Danny McShain pops his head out of that headlock. And grabs a headlock of his own, taking Fenton to the ground. Fenton pops out, gets up and stomps Danny McShain, and Fenton is on the attack. McShain able to avoid that face smother and throw another kick to the midsection. And we are going to go with a roll of 7 or less for the level 2 move here. And with a roll of 5, he's got him. And Fenton hurt by that big kick to the gut by Danny McShain. McShain grabs him in a rolling cradle. And Fenton able to reach the ropes and avoid a pinning predicament there. But McShain on the attack. Grabs him once again in that side headlock. And once again, Rod Fenton pops his head out and stomps him. And takes control of the match. Here we have a neck puller by Rod Fenton. And Danny McShain is hurt. And Fenton with an overhead body slam. And McShain hurt once again. And some rabbit punches by Rod Fenton. And McShain able to push him away before any of them really land solidly. And then as Fenton comes back in, McShain grabs him with a snapmare takeover. And that's going to hurt Rod Fenton. Fenton backing him into the ropes. And Fenton puts the knee to the gut as they get to the ropes and takes control of the match. Fenton with some pummeling punches on Danny McShain, and McShain is hurt. And now Fenton gouging the eyes of Danny McShain. McShain blinded and kind of stumbling around as Fenton grabs a headlock, but Danny McShain pops his head out. Still having trouble seeing, but he can see well enough to snapmare Rod Fenton over. And Fenton is hurt. And McShain kicked to the midsection once again. This is a level 7 for 2. And no. With a roll of 9, he does not roll 7 or less. So Rod Fenton able to catch the kick and trip McShain, roll him over and put him in that Boston Crab. And McShain able to reach the ropes. And now they're getting up. They're too close to the ropes, though. And this should be a roll on McShain's ropes, not Fenton's ropes. And Fenton able to get the better of Danny McShain as they battle near the ropes. And now Fenton with some rabbit punches on Danny McShain. McShain blocks the punch and nails him with a shot to the gut. That's going to double Rod Fenton over, and Danny McShain grabs a rolling cradle here. And Fenton is hurt. And now another kick to the gut. This is a 7 or less, and that is successful. And Fenton once again catches the leg of McShain, trips him down, and grabs him with a neck puller. And McShain is dazed. Rod Fenton with a kick to the gut of his own. And that once again doubles McShain over, puts him down. What is in Rod Fenton's boot? And Fenton grabs that hammerlock. Yeah, this is going to be 8 or less for a level 3 hammerlock. And he is successful. And McShain is down. McShain going to leave the ring, though. And now both wrestlers roll their count out. As they brawl out of the ring, McShain needs a 4 or... needs better than a 4, and with a 9, he is not counted out. And so does Fenton, needs better than a 4, and with an 8, he is not counted out. They are both level A ring ratings. If the wrestlers have the same rating, you take over on level 3 defense. So that's the difference between the vintage charts and the normal charts, is that if in a tie, it goes to the wrestler who rolled. So McShain going to take over on level 3, and McShain locks him in the octopus leg breaker. This is a... they both need a fatigue from the count out. The octopus leg breaker, this is going to be a level 0 finisher, and 5 or less. So the target is 5. The roll is a 5. So Danny McShain able to get Rod Fenton to submit with the octopus leg breaker here. And so McShain defeats Fenton via octopus leg breaker. And the fatigue info. McShain has 2. Fenton has 1. 3 fatigue, so that's a 1.5 star match. And we're on to our main event of the evening. Main menu. And the main event is, of course, going to be our champion, Farmer Burns. And his tag team partner and challenger, Tom Jenkins. Now, this match is going to be for the NWC World's Heavyweight title. So we will keep that checked there. And we will roll for the initiative. Burns with a 4. And Jenkins with a 5. So Tom Jenkins, out of the lockup, is successful. And Jenkins tries to grab a single leg takedown. He is the more agile of the two, so that is going to work. And Jenkins hurts Farmer Burns, our champion, with that single leg. And Jenkins follows it up with a hip lock takedown. And Farmer Burns is hurt once again. And Jenkins grabs a chancery hold takedown. Jenkins showing that he can just do whatever he wants with Farmer Burns. And Burns is down. He could roll out of the ring, but he's not going to. Both of these guys are good guys. And so that is not going to happen. So Jenkins rolling on level 3. He's got a bar Nelson and crotch hold on Farmer Burns. And Burns is down. And Tom Jenkins continues with the bar Nelson. And Burns is hurt. So Burns reaches the ropes. And Jenkins grabs him once again with that chancery hold takedown. And Burns is down. And now Tom Jenkins backs Burns towards the ropes, and it looks like they fall out of the ring. And Burns and Jenkins both get back in the ring successfully. No funny business on the floor. Very sportsmanlike here. And it looks like Farmer Burns is not quick enough to take control of the match as Tom Jenkins grabs him with that hip lock takedown once again, and Farmer Burns is hurt. And Jenkins with that chancery hold takedown, really riding the takedowns here, is Tom Jenkins. And Burns hurt once again. And now Tom Jenkins got Burns down with the chancery hold takedown, locks in a head scissors, and Farmer Burns is hurt. And Jenkins with that hammerlock. This is a choice E maneuver. His power is +1. His agility is -1. So I think he's still going to try the level 3 move. It's going to work on 7 or less. And with a roll of 10, it's unsuccessful, and the champion finally takes over. And he takes over in a big way, pushing Jenkins to the ground, grabs that toe hold. That's an add 1. So 1 fatigue for Jenkins, and Jenkins is hurt. As Burns continues to apply the toe hold pressure, and Jenkins with another fatigue. And Jenkins still hurt. And Farmer Burns going to back into the ropes. And look at that, Jenkins able to swing it around and take control of the match as they back into the ropes. And he's on level 2 offense here. And now Jenkins going to back Burns into the turnbuckle. And a clean break as Jenkins comes back in and continues his attack. He's got that hammerlock. He's going to try it again. Level 3, this is going to work on 7 or less, and with a roll of 7, he gets it. So a big hammerlock applied on Farmer Burns here, and Burns is hurt. And he's still got that hammerlock. He's going to keep trying it. It's 7 or less, and with a roll of 2, he's definitely got it that time. And Burns is hurt by that hammerlock. And a Chancery Hold takedown. And Farmer Burns is hurt again as Jenkins backs him into the turnbuckle. And Burns able to swing him around, club him in the side of the head with a forearm shiver, and take control of the match. He's on level 2 offense here with a double scissors hold. And Jenkins able to counter that double scissor hold and apply a head scissors on Farmer Burns. And our champion once again in trouble as he's hurt by the head scissors, and Jenkins cinches up. And Burns pops his head out and goes on the attack with a go behind takedown. This is an agility move, and he does not have the agility. So Farmer Burns not able to get behind Tom Jenkins, who is on the attack. And Jenkins grabs a half Nelson on Farmer Burns. But Burns breaks the Nelson and is on the attack with a flying mare. This is a choice D maneuver. Let's see here. Power's -1, so 7 or better for a level 3 flying mare. And he does not get it, so Tom Jenkins in control. Tries for the hammerlock. This is going to be a 7 or better for a level 3 hammerlock. He does not get it. And Farmer Burns goes into a grounded armbar on Tom Jenkins. Jenkins is hurt. This has turned out to be a spectacular match between these two partners. They have fought before, but never this hard. And a hammerlock of his own by Farmer Burns. And this hammerlock center of the ring. Jenkins has nowhere to go. Going to be a submission attempt here. And the target is 4. The roll is an 11. So Farmer Burns continues with the attack. This is a Nelson hold, and I believe this should have a star next to it. It should. So Farmer Burns, the Nelson hold. I have not edited this card to correctly display this. But the Nelson hold is roll 1 die. On rolls of 1, it's a quarter Nelson. On rolls of 2 and 3, it's a half Nelson. On rolls of 4 and 5, it's a 3/4 Nelson. And on rolls of 6, it's a double Nelson. So he's going to roll his die here. And on a roll of 4, it is a 3/4 Nelson, which is a 3 add 1 maneuver. So we're going to add 1 and roll there. And Jenkins is hurt. And Farmer Burns with that grounded armbar. And Farmer Burns wrenching that armbar, hurting Tom Jenkins. And now he's going for that flying bear. This is a choice D maneuver. And this is going to be a 7 or less. And with a roll of 9, he's unsuccessful. And Tom Jenkins takes over. Jenkins grabs that half Nelson. And Farmer Burns breaks it and takes control. He's got him in a collar and elbow now. And Jenkins breaks the collar and elbow. Headlock, takedown, power move. He's got the power. So that is going to be successful. And Farmer Burns is hurt. Hammerlock, choice E. This is a 7 or less for a level 3 move. He's still going to go for it. And he's got it this time. That hammerlock is successful. And it takes Burns all the way down to the mat. And now, backing up near the ropes, at danger of falling out of the ring. And Burns trips up, but Jenkins, in a show of good sportsmanship, breaks it off, moves to the center of the ring before moving back in and taking control of the match on level 2 offense. And Burns backed into the buckle by Tom Jenkins. And Jenkins with a big overhead suplex from the turnbuckle on Farmer Burns, and that's going to be successful. And Burns, once again, backing him too close to the ropes. And the referee calls the break, and Burns and Jenkins break, and Jenkins able to quickly get back in control. And he's got that hammerlock. Once again, this is a level 3 move if he rolls 7 or less, and he does not. And Farmer Burns applies his own hammerlock. This is what happened last time that got Burns really going here. And Burns hurt too on Jenkins with that hammerlock. And he switches from the hammerlock to a grounded armbar, but Jenkins able to counter it with a headlock takedown. And he hurts Farmer Burns, our champion, in trouble now as Jenkins grabs a hip lock takedown, hurting him. And Jenkins with a head scissors. Farmer Burns Jenkins can't seem to get him down long enough to go for a submission or a pin, but definitely has had him in trouble for a majority of the match. And Burns is hurt. And here we go, level 2. And another hip lock takedown by Tom Jenkins, and Farmer Burns is hurt. Half Nelson by Jenkins. Farmer Burns able to kick out of the half Nelson, or counter the half Nelson, lock him in a collar and elbow tie-up, and that's going to daze Tom Jenkins as they continue to fight in the collar and elbow. And Jenkins once again dazed, and they're continuing that collar and elbow, and Jenkins finally breaks out and is on the attack, and this is a full Nelson. This is a choice D maneuver. Power is +1, so this is going to be 9 or better. And with a roll of 6 or 7, he is successful. And there it is. Farmer Burns rolling his pin for the submission here on the on the full Nelson. And the target is 2, the roll is a 7. And Jenkins on the attack again. He's not going to roll he's not going to back him up anymore. Head scissors by Jenkins. Burns is dazed. And now that headlock takedown. And that's going to hurt Farmer Burns. And there's a half Nelson, but Burns able to counter it. And now a waistlock slam attempt by Farmer Burns, but he's not able to get him up and over as Jenkins able to take control of the match. And he locks him in a half Nelson. And Burns is hurt. Jenkins slowing this down with some takedowns here. Chancery hold takedown by Tom Jenkins on his teammate Farmer Burns. And Burns going, he's got the pin after the Chancery hold. Target is 3, roll is 5. So he's able to kick out as Jenkins continues his attack with a forearm across the nose. That's not a very nice thing to do to your partner. And that dazes Farmer Burns. And Jenkins backs him into the ropes. And off the lockup near the ropes, Farmer Burns takes control. And head scissors on Farmer Burns, and Farmer Burns pops out of the head scissors and backs Jenkins into the turnbuckle. And Farmer Burns, with a big knee to the gut and control of the match, takes him down with a toe lock. This is an add 1. And he's rolling on level 3, and this is a submission. So nowhere to go. Burns has the toe lock applied. This is a 7. The target is 7. The roll is an 8. Wow. Tom Jenkins showing a whole lot of intestinal fortitude as he continues to absorb punishment by Farmer Burns. Burns not on the attack very often, but when he is, it's been very successful. Head and arm throw by Farmer Burns on Tom Jenkins. And this is a pin. After the head and arm throw, target is 8, roll is an 8, and just like that, your champion, Farmer Burns, has retained the title with a head and arm throw. So there you go. Burns defeats Jenkins via head and arm throw. Head and arm throw. Fatigue info. Burns, he's got, what, 2? And Jenkins, he's got 6. So that'll be 7, because he gets another one for the last pin attempt. And that was 9 between the two of them, so that's a 4.5-star match. So, an excellent, excellent main event here, as Farmer Burns is able to retain his title against his partner and challenger, Tom Jenkins. I don't know how Ed Lewis can say that that was a walk in the park or a soft match. We'll have to see what Ed Lewis says now, because his argument was basically shot all to hell by those two wrestlers as they really went at it. So yeah, definitely more of a fight than anyone was expecting, I think. But there it is, Farmer Burns, still your champion, still the winner. So pretty happy to have witnessed that one. That was a really good match, actually. So, well, that's it for me for now. I'm going to go back to work on this thing. I think that I'm also... So, if you're not a member of PDF Prime and are interested in bootleg cards, I highly recommend it. It's run by Jared Rickert, who is just me on the boards. For the 2023 PDF Prime, I will be offering both of my desktop applications to PDF Prime members. I need a bigger group of users so that we can... They're stable. So when I say bugs and stuff, they're minor. But I need a bigger group of users to help me put these programs through their paces. So if you're interested in getting your hands on these, I know some people have asked. They will be available to members of PDF Prime. So if you're a member of PDF Prime for the 2023 cycle, you will have access to this and my other desktop application, which is Windows only, and is more complicated. This one is really lightweight, really simple, and it runs on Windows, Linux, and Mac. So you should be good no matter what kind of computer you have. But yeah, so if you're interested and are not a member of PDF Prime, which is the point of this, I suppose, is hit up Just Me on the official boards and ask how you can become a member. It is totally worth it. There are tons of great cards. He puts out at least 3 cards, or 2 or 3 cards every month. So you end up with a whole bunch of them. And they're usually pretty quality. Warner does the artwork for quite a few of them. He's got a couple of other guys that do the artwork as well. They're also pretty good. Some of the bonus cards, they're bonus cards, but I will admit that some of the bonus cards are a little iffy. But they're not what you're paying for. They're bonuses. The main cards are always high quality. And so totally worth checking into if you're not a member already. Anyway, so that's all for me. Thank you for watching, and I will be back. I may be back tomorrow and do a Christmas Day show for all I know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and y'all have a good one. If I'm not back for Christmas, y'all have a happy holiday, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, whatever that is, and I'll be back shortly after Christmas. My wife works all weekend, and for the first 2 days of next week. So we're not really doing a whole lot of family stuff for Christmas, at least during the day. So I should be around to stream during the day. And so, yeah.